So you're someone who wants to learn, grow, get ahead, right? Maybe you're juggling a tough course load, maybe diving into something totally new.
Hmm.
And you're looking for that edge, you know, the insights that actually stick and help you move forward.
Yeah, that's exactly what we try to do here on the deep dive. We dig through the research, the expert advice, all that stuff.
And pull out the core ideas, the things that can really make a difference for you.
And today, we're tackling something so many learners face.
Hmm.
How to, well, really excel academically. We've got a mix of sources lined up.
We do. We've got practical tips from places like Harvard Summer School and Touch Heights,
Huh.
strategies from smart kids with learning disabilities, which is great for thinking about different learning styles.
Right, and some really interesting academic research from Eric as well.
Exactly. So think of this as like your personalized deep dive into academic success. We're going beyond the usual tips.
Yeah, we want to unpack how you can really master your time, set goals that you'll actually follow through on, plan effectively.
And also understand some of the underlying factors that influence achievement.
No fluff, just actionable stuff you can use.
Okay, let's dive right in. Starting with, well, maybe the trickiest resource to manage, time.
Ah, yes. Time. It's so much more than just filling in a calendar, isn't it?
Totally.
Harvard Summer School really emphasizes that, especially when your schedule is jam-packed.
Mm.
Actually scheduling things out maybe day by day or even hour by hour.
Hour by hour, wow.
It sounds intense, but it can actually reduce stress because you're consciously making space for everything. It's about intentional allocation.
Okay, I can see that. And they also stress keeping everything in one place, right? Like a central command center for your life.
Exactly. Whether that's, a physical planner. And it's cool that places like Papier have student discounts.
Oh, yeah. Along with like plum paper or Moleskine.
Right, those classics. Or
Mhm.
maybe you're more digital, something like Asana, Trello, or that structured app.
Mm.
The key thing is finding what works for you. But what I found really insightful from the Harvard perspective was this idea of flexibility.
Ah, yes.
Time management isn't about this rigid, unbreakable schedule. Life happens, right? Things change.
Deadlines shift, unexpected things pop up.
Precisely. So your system needs to be able to adapt. Think of it more like a flexible framework, not a cage.
That's a really good way to put it. And, the Eric's research we looked at, it really backs this up.
Oh yeah, how so?
They talk about time and study environment management as a key part of academic self-regulation.
Right, self-regulation.
It's not just having the planner, it's how you actively use it and manage your space.
Absolutely. And that Eric study actually found a pretty clear link between students who manage their time well and, better academic results.
Like higher GPAs.
Higher GPAs, yeah. And also adjusting better to college life overall. It suggests taking ownership really pays off.
Okay, so we get why it's important. Let's get practical. One of the other sources, Manage Yourself, Maximize Your Time, mentions something called the Ivy Lee method.
Ugh. Ivy Lee. It sounds almost deceptively simple.
That's what I thought. What is it?
It's elegant, really.
Hmm.
At the end of your day, you list the 6 most important things you need to do tomorrow. 6.
Just 6.
Just 6. Then you rank them by importance. And tomorrow, you start with number 1 and focus only on that until it's
Yep.
done. Then move to number 2, and so on.
Okay.
If you don't finish all 6, no big deal. The unfinished tasks just move to the top of the list for the next day.
Huh. It forces you to prioritize, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Cuts through the clutter.
Exactly. It forces that focus on what's truly essential right now.
I like that. And that same source, Manage Yourself, also talked about finding the right tools, didn't it? That there's no single perfect system.
Definitely not. One size does not fit all here. They highlighted a whole range of options.
Yeah.
Well, traditional paper planners, notebooks, sometimes just writing things down helps.
Yeah, the physical act.
Right. But also digital calendars and then tons of apps. Things like the 30-man goal planner.
Hey.
For simple lists. Evernote for notes. Even apps like Rescue Time that actually track where your computer time goes.
Oh, that could be revealing. Maybe a little scary.
Could be. But the point is finding that tool, or maybe a combination of tools, that clicks with how you work and helps you stay accountable.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've got some ideas for wrangling the clock. Let's zoom out a bit. Planning and prioritizing. These feel like the next crucial layer.
They really are. The article from Smart Kids with Learning Disabilities framed these as essential executive functioning skills.
Executive functions like the brain's CEO, sort of?
Kinda, yeah. The management system. And they pointed out that students who struggle with these skills often find it hard to break down big projects,
Uh-huh.
figure out the steps needed, or even just decide what's most important to work on first.
Yeah, they listed some signs of that struggle that felt pretty familiar. Feeling overwhelmed by vague assignments,
Mm,
doing the easy, less important stuff first just to feel busy,
guilty.
right? Or struggling to explain your study plan, maybe missing key details and instructions. It really paints a picture.
It does. But the good news is they offered 5 really practical strategies to help build up these skills.
Okay, let's hear them. What's number one?
First, clarify the goal. Simple, but crucial. You can't plan a trip if you don't know where you're going.
Right.
So really break down the assignment, understand every requirement. They even suggest making a checklist.
Oh, I love checklists. Such a small thing, big impact. Okay, what's next?
Second strategy, establish that planning is productive. This tackles that feeling that planning is just delaying the actual work.
Yeah, like fake productivity.
Right. But this reframes it. Planning is doing something important. It saves time, reduces stress down the line.
How do you establish that?
They suggest involving kids in family planning, maybe. Or setting aside a dedicated 15 minutes each day just for planning, showing its value. And starting the planning the day you get the assignment, not the night before.
Smart. Okay, number three.
Third, agree on a framework for prioritizing. Making conscious choices about what comes first.
Like how?
Well, for younger kids, maybe just distinguishing need to do from want to do.
Simple enough.
For older students, maybe a 1-2-3 system for ranking tasks. Or the Eisenhower matrix, that urgent versus important grid.
Oh, yeah. The matrix?
The key is picking a system and then actually practicing it consistently.
Right, you got to use it. Makes sense. Number four.
Fourth, provide lots of practice.
Yeah.
Like any skill, planning gets better with repetition.
So just keep doing it.
Basically, yeah. Ask planning questions daily. What's the most important thing today? When will you tackle it? Can anything wait? Even planning fun things helps build the muscle, like planning how to build a snowman or prep for a game.
I like that, making it part of everyday conversation. Okay, and the last one. Number five.
Fifth, experiment and adjust. Things rarely go exactly to plan, right?
Never.
Yeah, exactly. So this is about having backup plans, contingency thinking, and viewing adjustments not as failures, but as, successful adaptations. It builds resilience.
That's a really healthy way to look at it. Okay, brilliant. So we're managing time, we're planning work. Now, how do we actually set our sights on what we want to achieve? Let's talk goals.
Yes. Goal setting. The Touch Heights article called it the bedrock of academic success. I like that.
Bedrock. Strong word.
It is. It's about taking those fuzzy aspirations you have and turning them into actual concrete targets. Clear goals give you direction, they fuel motivation, they help you organize.
And it's not just about the grade at the end, is it? That article mentioned other benefits.
Oh, absolutely. Things like improving your time management just by working towards a goal.
Yeah.
Building perseverance when things get tough.
Resilience, yeah.
And even becoming more self-aware about what you really want and what motivates you.
So how do we make goals that actually work? Touch Heights talked about the SMART criteria, didn't they?
They did. The classic, but always relevant, SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Each part is key.
Okay, let's break that down. Specific, what does that really mean?
It means crystal clear. No ambiguity. So instead of get better grades.
Which could mean anything.
Right. A specific goal is something like raise my history grade from a B to an A by the end of the semester. You know exactly what you're aiming for.
Got it. Okay, measurable.
You need a way to track progress, to know if you're getting closer and when you've actually hit the target. It has to be quantifiable.
So not just read more, but maybe read one chapter of the textbook each week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or complete all assigned practice problems before each quiz, something you can actually check off.
Okay, then achievable.
This is about realism. Stretch yourself, yes, but the goal should be possible given your time, resources, abilities. Setting impossible goals just leads to frustration.
Yeah, sets you up to fail. Find that sweet spot between challenge and reality.
Precisely. Next is relevant.
Relevant to what?
To you, your values, your priorities, your bigger picture. Why does this goal matter to you? Does it fit with your long-term plans, your interests? It needs to feel meaningful.
Right, connects it to your why.
Right.
Okay, and finally, time-bound.
The deadline. Every good goal needs a time frame. By the end of the week, before the midterm, by graduation. It creates urgency and makes it real.
SMART. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Okay, so how do we actually figure out our SMART goals?
Touch Heights suggested a few steps. First, some self-reflection. Look honestly at your academic strengths and weaknesses. Where are you now?
Know thyself. Always a good start. Then,
Second, dream big, but stay grounded. Think about what you'd love to achieve, but then balance that with what's realistic right now.
ambitious but achievable. Got it.
Third, align your goals with your bigger ambitions. How does the specific goal fit into your larger plans for education or career? See the connection.
Connect the dots. Okay.
And fourth, finally, set the actual SMART goals. Take all that reflection and ambition and actually write them down using those 5 criteria.
Okay, so we have the SMART goal. What's the next step to actually make it happen? Feels like there's a gap there.
The action plan. That's the bridge. Tuthites really stress this. An action plan is your detailed roadmap.
A roadmap. Okay.
It gives you clarity, keeps you focused, helps with motivation and accountability. It makes the goal feel less daunting.
So how do we build this roadmap? What goes in it?
First, break the big goal down into smaller, bite-sized tasks. What are all the little steps you need to take?
Makes sense, like mini goals.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Second, set timelines for these smaller tasks. When will you do each one? Be realistic. Build in buffer time,
Buffer time is key. Always takes longer than you think.
always. Third, prioritize these tasks. What needs to happen first? What's most critical?
Connects back to what we talked about earlier.
Exactly. And finally, monitor your progress. Check in regularly, see how you're doing, celebrate the wins along the way, and adjust the plan if needed.
Adjusting. That seems important because things rarely go perfectly smoothly, do they?
Not usually. And the Touchites article talked about that too. Navigating challenges.
Like what?
Well, staying motivated, reminding yourself why you set the goal, visualizing success, celebrating small wins, overcoming setbacks, viewing them as learning chances, not reasons to quit, adjusting your strategy.
Seeking support.
Definitely. Talk to teachers, mentors, friends. Don't go it alone. And crucially, being flexible with your goals. Sometimes circumstances change, and you need to adapt the goal itself. That's okay.
That flexibility again, it keeps coming up. How about tracking progress? Any specific tips there?
Yeah, making it visible helps. Use your planner or journal. Maybe create a visual tracker, like a chart or progress bar. Seeing how far you've come is motivating.
Oh, I like visual trackers.
Me too. And consciously celebrate milestones. Finished a tough chapter, nailed a practice quiz, acknowledge it. Reward yourself in small ways. It reinforces the good habits.
Build in those rewards. Smart. Now, the Manage Yourself source also covered goal setting, and it sounded like it aligned pretty closely with SMART goals.
It did, very much so. They broke down each SMART element in detail. Specific asking who, what, where, when, how. Measurable asking, can it be tracked? Attainable, are you capable? Relevant, why is it important? Time-bound, how long?
So, reinforcing the same core ideas. Did they add anything different?
They made a useful distinction between long-term and short-term goals.
Okay. How did they define those?
Long-term goals are your bigger picture priorities, the overarching aims. They suggested using something like a monthly calendar to keep those in view.
The forest.
Right, and short-term goals are the daily or weekly steps that build toward the long-term ones. They build momentum.
The trees.
Exactly. And for those, they recommended weekly schedules, daily to-do lists, maybe tracking apps to stay focused on the immediate actions.
And what did they see as the main payoff for this kind of structured goal setting?
A few key things.
Yeah.
Less last-minute cramming because you're working consistently.
Ah, the dream.
Right. Clearer sense of your priorities so you know where to put your energy. And ideally, a more balanced life where you actually have time for self-care because you're managing things proactively.
That sounds pretty good. Okay, incredibly useful stuff on goals and planning. Now, let's shift gears slightly. The ERICS research took a broader view, didn't it? Looking at various factors predicting college success.
It did. It looked beyond just strategies and examined the interplay between prior academic ability, things like high school GPA, SAT scores.
The usual suspects.
Right, and how those interact with self-regulation skills and motivational beliefs in a college environment.
And what did it say about prior ability? Does your high school record basically seal your fate?
Well, yes and no. The study confirmed prior ability is significantly related to college performance. High school GPA was a strong predictor, especially into the second semester.
Okay.
But, and this is important, it's definitely not the whole story. Interestingly, they also found verbal SAT scores were a slightly better predictor than math SAT scores in their sample.
Huh. That is interesting. What about the other pieces, self-regulation and motivation?
This is where it gets really interesting for developing skills. They define self-regulation pretty broadly. Goal setting, using good strategies, self-efficacy, that's believing you can succeed,
Right, we talked about that.
intrinsic interest, monitoring yourself, reflecting on your learning. Specifically, Academic self-regulation involves learning independently and using study techniques.
And they looked at metacognition, thinking about your thinking.
Exactly. Planning, monitoring, regulating your own learning. And, crucially, time and study environment management, which we've already seen is important.
So what did they find about these self-regulation skills?
They reinforce that, yes, metacognition is linked to performance, and good study skills can predict how well you start college, sometimes even better than test scores.
Okay. And motivation.
They looked at motivation as a mix of expecting success and valuing the task. Task value includes, like, how important is it to you, attainment, are you genuinely interested in interest, and is it useful, utility.
Makes sense.
They also looked closely at self-efficacy, that belief in your ability, and test anxiety.
Self-efficacy seems huge.
It really is. The study flagged it as a key motivator influencing your choices, how much effort you put in, your self-regulation, and ultimately your GPA. High self-efficacy is a strong, positive predictor.
And test anxiety, obviously the opposite.
Pretty much. High test anxiety, especially the worry part, was linked to lower achievement, lower self-efficacy, and maybe seeing less value in tasks.
So pulling it all together, what were the big takeaways from Eric about what predicts success?
The really key finding was this. Time management skills and self-efficacy in the first year, and especially time management carrying into the second year, were unique predictors of academic performance above and beyond prior ability.
Wow. So even if you didn't have the best high school record, developing these skills in college can really make a difference.
That's the empowering message, yes. These are things you can actively work on and improve, and they demonstrably impact your success. Your past doesn't fully dictate your future performance.
That's huge. Any other interesting findings?
Well, they noted first semester self-efficacy seemed less predictive by sophomore year. Maybe because it becomes more specific to certain subjects over time, or the initial measure was just too general. And while task value and test anxiety correlated as expected, positive for value, negative for anxiety, they didn't explain much additional variance once time management and self-efficacy were accounted for.
Yeah.
Again, maybe due to how broadly they were measured.
And the study had limitations, right? Important to remember.
Oh, definitely. The sample was mostly middle-class suburban students, so generalizability is a question. There was some attrition, students dropping out, and, as we said, the measures for self-regulation and motivation were quite broad.
Good context. Okay, one last major piece we need to address. The big one that trips so many people up. Procrastination.
Ah, yes.
So,
The elephant in the study room, the manage yourself source. Tackled this head on.
how did they define it? It feels like more than just being lazy.
It is. They define it as voluntarily delaying something you intend to do, even though you expect to be worse off because of the delay.
That expectation part is key, isn't it? You know it's not good, but you do it anyway.
Exactly. And they listed several reasons why we do it. And yeah, laziness isn't really the main driver.
What are some reasons?
Things like lack of motivation or just really disliking the task aversion, doubting your ability to actually do the task well, low self-confidence,
Okay.
stress or anxiety about the task itself, having an unrealistic sense of how much time you have or how long it will take.
That time optimism trap.
Totally. Poor organization, trouble focusing, lots of distractions around, and sometimes it's just become a habit.
That's quite a list. It makes sense why it's so common. What about strategies to fight back?
They offered quite a few practical ones. Task segmentation, break big scary tasks into tiny manageable steps.
Less intimidating.
Right. The eat that frog method, tackle your most dreaded task first thing in the morning. Get it over with.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Pretty much. The Pomodoro technique, those focus work bursts, like 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, helps with focus.
I've heard good things about that one.
Creating routines and reminders. Using environmental motivators, like setting up a nice workspace, reminding yourself why you're doing it. Self-reward for making progress.
Little treats along the way.
Yep. And even task fusing, pairing something you dislike with something you enjoy, like listening to music while doing boring data entry, maybe.
Interesting mix of approaches there. And they also said just being more aware helps.
Absolutely. That self-awareness piece again, just tracking how you actually spend your time can be eye-opening and reduce procrastination. And they also highlighted seeking support.
Support? Like where?
University resources, often. Counseling centers, disability services if needed, study groups, talking to professors during office hours, writing centers, tutoring services.
Lots of places.
Yeah. The point is, you don't have to figure it all out alone. Asking for help is smart, not weak.
That's a really important message. Okay, so, wow, we've covered a lot of ground. Let's try and wrap this up for you, the listener.
Yeah, the big picture seems to be that things like effective time management, strategic planning, good prioritization habits, setting those SMART goals, they aren't just nice to haves.
No, they're fundamental skills for academic success. And the really good news running through all these sources is that these are skills you can actively develop and improve.
hmm It takes practice,
Yeah.
conscious effort, but you can get better at them.
And understanding yourself is a huge part of it too, isn't it? Knowing how you use your time, why you might procrastinate.
Absolutely. That self-awareness allows you to pick the right strategies and know when maybe you need to reach out for some of that support we just mentioned.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. As you listen today, which of these strategies or ideas really resonated with you? Where do you feel like you could maybe make a small change?
Yeah, maybe just take one thing, one technique for time management, or trying the SMART framework for one specific goal, or even just tracking your time for a few days.
See what happens. Because ultimately, understanding and applying these ideas isn't just about chasing better grades. It's about creating a learning experience that feels more manageable, less stressful, and honestly, more fulfilling.
Couldn't agree more. It's about taking control of your own learning journey.